Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to episode 6 of the Galaxy podcast. Today, joined with us is Mr. Nice Guy. He has ran many esports organizations, and when I used to run my esports organization, we actually had a rivalry with his organization. How are you
Sure.
doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you?
Living my best life. I mean, what more can you really want? Just content creation and just living life, really.
Yes, sir. That's what
But
it's all about. I see you got the Notre Dame shirt on.
oh yeah, love Notre
Love it.
Dame.
Did you catch the game?
Oh yeah, I love that game. That
Yes,
was a
sir.
that was a good game.
That other one a couple weeks ago, they lost to that team that wasn't even ranked. It totally blew my mind.
Oh
I
yeah,
forget who they lost to.
it was Northern Illinois University is who they
Yeah.
lost to. That
Yeah, I
was
was like, oh, I'm gonna tune into a beating really quick, and then I was like, "Whoa, holy, what is happening?"
yeah, it was a 28-point game. That was like we were 28-point favors, and then just nothing, just blowout the whole game. Well, not really a
It was,
blowout, but like to what it was supposed to be, it was a blowout for Notre Dame to lose
oh
by
yeah,
just to
without
lose
a
to them.
doubt. Right, exactly. Even just for them to compete was just mind blowing, honestly.
Oh yeah, but we made it up against Purdue. That made my day. 66
For
to
sure.
7. They showed the stands at halftime, and everybody's moving down the stands. Oh, it
Oh
was
hell yeah.
great.
I love it.
I hate Purdue. I almost said I hate Notre Dame. I can never hate Notre Dame. I hate Purdue.
Right?
Screw them. But
That's awesome.
are you a Notre Dame fan too?
I like Notre Dame. Yeah, I went to Notre Dame High School, which obviously isn't exactly the same, but it kind
Mm.
of put me on that trajectory,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was like, I get down. I mean, I usually
Mm.
follow local sports, so I live in
Mm-hmm.
the East Coast, so I'm pretty much all Boston, and I follow the Yukon Huskies mostly for basketball. But yeah,
Mm.
I like to catch the Notre Dame games as well.
Yeah, I'm from Indiana, so I Notre Dame was my pick out of
Hmm.
IU and Purdue. I used to kind of like Purdue, but then I went to a football camp. I went to football camps when I was younger. I went to Notre Dame and I went to Purdue, and I got treated like crap at Purdue. And I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, screw Purdue. Notre Dame's the way to go." And
Right.
then
Right.
IU, I never cared for. Red as a sports team is just weird to me. So
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
I just never could get into red. Like all my favorite teams, Cowboys and Notre Dame. They're all darker colors, really. Besides the green, other than the green, but they're more.
Cowboys. Man. Yo, I love to make fun of the Cowboys. I don't
Oh
know
my
why.
gosh,
I don't even have anything against them. I just think it's hysterical. Like there's this meme that I post at the beginning of every football season,
the
which is
circle.
the circle with the Dallas
Yep.
Cowboys where the like season begins.
Hmm.
Fans start to think they're going somewhere, and then it's like we them boys,
Oh
and then
yeah.
it's like choke in the playoffs. Everybody gets upset, and then it goes right back full circle. Season begins,
Yep.
and I'm
That's.
like, okay,
I'm like, this is
what's
so
going on
true.
here?
I'm like, I'm never say like this is our year until like we are going to win a playoff game. And once we win a
Yeah, that's
playoff game,
fair.
then I'll be like, well, maybe we can do something. And then we go to divisional and we just get our asses whipped. I'm like, yeah, probably not going to
For
be our year.
no, yeah, it's funny. It really is. I was and with like Dak Prescott too, it's like he's good, but he just can't clutch in those like high stakes moments.
Mm-mm.
He'll look so good all year, and then it'll just be like it's like he's a different person when he
I
goes to the
know.
playoffs.
It's
It's bizarre, honestly. But
and it's my favorite teams. Like even my high school team, Notre Dame and Cowboys. They're super good in the regular season. They can go undefeated, have a high season record, but then they get to the playoffs, they
yep,
just hits the fan, and they're horrible. First
yeah,
round
yeah.
exits, and they're like Super Bowl uh, contenders, and then nope, you're done.
That's what I always loved about being a Patriots fan. I at least when it's a little bit tough now, but for a long time, like with Brady, it was like he was just a scientist on the football field. So it
Hmm.
literally was like I had zero fear when I was like, okay, they're down by 4. Brady's got the ball. There's a minute and 45 seconds, more than enough time for him to, take apart that field, pick apart that defense, and score. Like it was crazy. And I'm not even making it up or talking junk. Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember watching games and being like, okay, we're down by 4. We have a minute and 50 seconds, and Brady's got the ball. We are going to win.
Oh
And
yeah,
9 times out of 10 we won. The dude was just an absolute scientist.
it was great. I didn't like him on the Patriots, but now I look back on the Bucks, I liked him more, and I always was a Gronk fan. I don't like Kelsey
Yeah,
at all. I've always been a Gronk
yeah.
fan my whole life.
I'm not a big Travis Kelsey fan either, to be honest.
He is.
I think it's funny right now, all the memes I've been seeing, like with the refs trying to, they're like, the Chiefs absolutely are not allowed to lose a game. Like with all the, like, there was this meme I saw, it was like Pat Mahomes was running and like it had this ref following behind him with like a flag out. And like he
Mhm.
was like, all these dudes were like arm tackling him. He was just waltzing through their arm tackles. Just go, and like the refs behind, like with the flag, like ready to throw it at anybody that tries to tackle him.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's about right.
I like the contract that the fake contract they drew up about Kelsey and Swift breaking up or some shit, and
Yeah,
they're like they're gonna break up on this day and they're gonna release a public announcement. I'm like, oh, let's go finally. And then they're
yeah,
like, all the Swifties don't have to pretend they like football anymore.
that
oh,
really is fun.
oh, that's
I
great.
think, and I remember that rumor they were like he was gonna propose to her at the Super Bowl and all. It's just, it's all just such like it's such fluff.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so hard for me to get into it, you know.
yeah. I mean, it's good for marketing, but other than that, I was surprised. Like some of even the Super Bowl when she showed up there, I was like, people were betting on how many times they're going to show her on screen. It was
I mean,
hilarious.
it certainly makes for a good drinking game.
I guess. I was
You
like,
know what I mean?
man, oh yeah,
You wouldn't make it to the second half, I don't think.
dude.
At
When she
least
first started, it was every play he made, like every catch shows a picture of her. I don't care.
yeah.
Show me the replay, man. I don't care.
Honestly, yeah. Either that or even like on Facebook or Insta or whatever, it's just like over and over. This is her reacting to him catching a pass. It
Cool.
was an amazing, and then she's in there like, ah. Yeah, no. After the first like 2 weeks, it definitely seemed like it was well overplayed. And I mean, now we're in what, the second year and it's still happening, which
Oh
is
yeah,
just, I don't know.
that's crazy. But to dive back into our rivalry, you owned Rogue for a long time, didn't you? How long were you with Rogue?
We started in 2019 during Black Ops 4,
Mm-hmm.
and it was real small. We had played for this clan called I don't even think exists anymore. I want to say it was Jug Nation Gaming or something.
Hmm.
And we weren't getting a ton of support from that, from the owners of that. And me and like 3 of my other buddies that I was close with, we were kind of like, we're putting in all this work for this group that really doesn't look out for us, talk to us, invest in us at all. Like let's just do our own thing and just sort of, play it off. And funny story, when Rogue Gaming was started, right? I actually misspelled Rogue. So the original name was Rouge Gaming, right? And I had this custom flag that I had made with the original logo, and it said Rouge Gaming, and I had it in like my little man cave.
mm.
And my wife was like, "You know that you spelled it wrong, right?" And I was like, "I didn't spell it wrong. Like, what are you talking about?" She's like, "No, no, no, you did." She's like, "You named your gaming group Rouge Gaming." And I was like, "Oh, excellent." So I had to do a little damage control there, which was kind of funny. But yeah, we came together. Me and about, I want to say like 15, 12 or 15 guys started it in late 2019 during Black Ops 4.
Yeah, we came together in 21, so that was about 2 years after you guys. We came together in Cold War. I was 16 when I started that team. I think. Yeah, I would have been 16, and a lot of people thought I was much older than what I am, and like I'll turn 20. Actually, tomorrow will be in 2 months, so November 30th I'll be 20 and finally get out of teenage years. But I was way too young to own that org, and that really affected me. That was like my first official org that I like invested in the esports too.
It's a
Um,
lot of work.
it was a lot of work. I seen the ups, I seen the downs, I seen what worked and what didn't work. I tried
Oh
to
my
do it
god.
without investing any money into the org. I did it without investing any money. I fundraised, I got sponsors, but doing it without any money is super hard, is what I figured out.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. Because everybody likes the bells and the whistles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants like the cool professional looking intro videos and the graphics and the welcome posts and the custom made.
Oh yeah.
People have no idea. I mean, at the peak, like we had at one point early on, like probably, well, so when we started, we were going through like kind of like the military style alphabet as teams,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we had alpha. Originally we had just alpha, bravo, charlie, delta, and
Mm-hmm.
then as we grew in popularity, we would add, what is it, A, B, C, D, E, echo, and we
Mm-hmm.
went all the way down to like J or K at one point. We and
Jeez.
and all the teams had like 6 7 people on them, and
Mm-hmm.
they were, everybody was training. But the thing that, like, to kind of circle back to what you were saying about like how much work it is, and people don't realize, when you have a lot of people in your group, everything is multiplied by a number, right? So if you have 40 people, to that one person, they're like, yo, can you make me a custom graphic? And you're like, okay, yeah, I'll make you a custom graphic, but multiply that by 40 people
Oh yeah.
who all want, you know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people didn't realize, is like how many little fights, how many little requests, how many little things that always need to sort of be, you know, taken care of on a
Mm-hmm.
day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't see that. They don't realize how much work, really goes into it. Like for a while I was custom making, I made a lot of the graphics,
Mm-hmm.
like for all the things that I've done for the leagues, for the players, for the org itself, a bunch of different things. And it's time consuming, man,
Oh
especially
yeah.
when you want to make it look legit, make it look professional, and also costs money if you want to have people
Yeah.
design for you. So,
Yeah, I was never a good graphic designer, so I would have it paid. But my buddy Lego, I actually, I don't know if you know Lego. He goes by Lego Mans or Big B Lego, but we actually started Frosted together, and he competed under
Okay.
Frosted for a little while. Um, but we started it together. Then he backed out, and then I took over full ownership, and he did a lot of the designs, but the only thing that we really paid to have done was like our jerseys and stuff. And then we
Yeah.
got, here's my hat, the hats from Frosted too.
Nice.
Um, but we paid to have all that stuff designed for us. But I think it was $75, and then for the shop too. So we got kind of a
I've never
full
had good
package.
experiences with the shops. I've used two shops. I used Innovated Gear, and originally they were all super cool. I bought the design package. They made a bunch of stuff, but I was getting dudes that would order jerseys, and it would take not weeks, it would take months,
Oh yeah.
like constantly getting complaints. Hey, I ordered a jersey, 3 months ago. A new Call of Duty's about to come out. Like, I still haven't even gotten my jersey, and I'm calling
Mhm.
these guys. So that wasn't a great experience. And then they just randomly messaged me one day. They were like, "Hey, yeah, like we're closing the store." And I was like, "Oh, all right." Like, well, I did purchase a design package, all this stuff, and it was just, that was it. It was just, the
Yeah.
store was gone. And here's the irony with them, is that they got rid of everything, right? And then they started doing something else,
Hmm.
whatever it was, energy drinks. I don't know. And then, like, fast forward 8 months to a year, and they're in my inbox again. Yo, you want to buy a design package? We're opening up a store. And I was like, not really, because I already bought one and it's gone. So I'm not really feeling like I need to buy a new one from you every 8 months.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one, what was the other that was really popular? And then it just vanished one day.
Mm, I know what one you're talking about, but I don't remember
It
their
was like
name.
real gamerware, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it
And
was.
and it was like it was that girl, and like she was pretty good. She really was. And and she gave a free store. You could just She would just design your stuff as long as you repped for her. And it was like one day, like her all her socials were gone. They
Hmm,
were just disappeared, and that was
that's
it. They
weird.
were just, yeah, no communication, nothing. And that was my two experiences with jerseys. But I
Yeah.
bought a bunch of gear. I mean, we had pretty dope jerseys, honestly.
Mhm.
And I got a random jersey sent to me once accidentally. She let me keep it. I forget who the
That's
team
funny.
was. Yeah, I still have it. It was
My
somebody we were playing.
we went through. They were originally called Three Zone. I had a buddy that had a team, and he had jerseys through them. I asked him. I said, "Are these guys reputable?" And he said, "Yeah, they're pretty good." So I went to Three Zone. They were based in America, uh, and I was like, "Okay, these guys seem pretty good." So I went through them, got the package, and then obviously I bought some stuff, and I had some members buy some stuff. And then, like you said, there no information on getting their packages. So then I keep reaching out, and then they said, "Oh, well, we're rebranding, so uh, it's going to be a minute before you get your package." And they send me pictures of all my stuff, so it's real and you can see it. But then,
Right.
so they rebrand to Raven, and then I'm like, okay, well, you guys are rebranded, and they moved their operations from America to Mexico now. So one, that was a plus because they made everything cheaper there, and like they didn't make it like the quality cheaper, but everything was cheaper. So like a sweatshirt, instead of it being $60, it was like $30. A t-shirt,
Yeah.
instead of $30, it was $10. I'm like, hell yeah, this is even better for the shop being based
Right.
out of Mexico. Well, then I keep nagging on them. They're like, well, that's the old ownership. I said, well, you guys take over ownership. You guys take over responsibilities of old ownership. You guys should be sending me my products. You guys have
Right.
them in your hands.
Right.
So, uh, the people that ordered them, we finally got them. It took months, but they finally got their stuff. One guy, he left and he had me blocked. His name was like Rooster or something. He had me blocked on everything. So I don't know if he ever got his stuff, but he sent his stuff to him. But I got my stuff. I got a hat. I got a lanyard. We had a baseball jersey, so I got a baseball jersey. Then I got a regular jersey, and then they sent me an extra jersey to do a giveaway on my uh, for my Oregon. I gave it to my general manager for him to have. He won the giveaway, so and then yeah, it was just those. I was going to buy sweatpants because we had sweatpants too. I wanted to buy some sweatpants, but they ended up closing their shop. I was just like, well, damn, you know? And
Right.
I was like, I really wanted to buy more, and this hat's probably the best thing they made. It's actual
Right.
good quality. I like the hat, but the jerseys, they're kind of cheap. Uh, and two, I've lost a bunch of weight. They're all like 3X, and now I'm in larges. So
Right.
it's kind of it's instead of like the sleeves being like right here, they're like all the way down my forearm. I'm like, damn, I can't wear this, dude. This is
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They sized them kind of funky. Ours ran small,
oh
so
really?
like usually I'm like an XL, or at the time I was smaller, so I was like a large, and now I unfortunately have ascended the size chart, so I'm more of like an XL now,
Mm-hmm.
and they ran small, like that's
Hmm.
tight, even as a large. I was like, wow, these are small, man. And now it's like it's just it's a wall decoration, if anything.
Oh yeah.
But ours are pretty good quality though. But we paid top dollar for sure.
Oh
But
yeah.
I like the quality. It was definitely worth it if you had the patience.
Yeah,
But I had
that's
a couple similar things, like somebody won a giveaway, and then like by the time it made it, I don't even think he was a part of the org anymore. Like it was definitely, it almost made me feel like I should just have my own store,
oh yeah.
because that's a lot of the ways that I started. A lot of the things that I did was I didn't want to wait for like other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like I didn't want to wait for like someone else to tell me what to do with the team, so I started my own. And then like I didn't want, like, if I found that people were running leagues or tournament sites and they were run really poorly and I had a lot of feedback, like rather than put up with like their bull crap, I just was like, I'm gonna start my own league
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm gonna make it dope how I like it, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make the graphics, and I made some pretty successful, events,
Oh yeah.
especially with the Alpha League. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I organized at one point. I remember it was memorable, man. It was really exciting. We were live streaming a game with Cup of Joe, and we got one of those hype trains on
Mm-hmm.
Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I kid you not, he must have had like three or 400 active viewers, and it
Jeez.
was it was very exciting. People were donating money, like it was, I don't know, just I don't really know Twitch that well,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever was happening, like the chat was blowing up, and there was all these donations and all these subs being given out, and like I don't know, I didn't fully understand it, but what I did know is there's a shitload of people, and it was popping off, and I was like, yo, this is my shit popping off right now. This is awesome.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Because
So that
you
was nice.
because you had Rogue. I know you had Rogue, and then you had ABC. You had Alpha, and then you had
Yep.
ALG too, didn't you?
I'm a co-owner in ALG, but we never got around to starting it up.
I thought it did start
He
up for a
offered he
while.
offered to sell it to me, but I didn't really want to drop what he was asking.
I thought you guys did start it for a little while.
We started it, and it was just so originally I was with a few of these guys, and we had like this management team that we were building, and we had, including the Alpha League or the ALG, we had three leagues that either I owned exclusively or I was a co-owner in. And basically we were going to set the leagues up to be like the ABC would be like free
Mm-hmm.
for the community, sort of like, just for fun. The Alpha League was going to be like mid-tier cash tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
like, small things, 16 team double elimination. And we even wanted to do a lot where
Mm-hmm.
we could flip like a $5 buy-in, just have people come play for the night. Winner
Mm-hmm.
takes all, 16 teams, everybody throws in $5. At the end of the night, whoever wins gets the, whatever, 16 times 5, like $75 or whatever for the
Yeah.
team. And have the Alpha League be the mid-tier cash tournaments, and then have ALG be, the higher stakes
Oh yeah.
cash, long-term cash leagues. My biggest enemy throughout everything was always just staff.
Oh
I
yeah.
have a lot of good ideas. I feel like I'm fairly creative. I've designed a lot of stuff from scratch. I can design graphics and edit videos and stuff like that, and I have a lot of good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But everything always circles back to just either having not enough staff or just people that are super unreliable.
Oh yeah.
And I get kind of like perfectionist in what I do. So like even if I had somebody who's like half-assing stuff or not following, I mean, dude, like I was like, okay, I had like guidelines, I
Mm-hmm.
had notes. This is, if you're because I remember I went on vacation once with my family, and I had one of my buddies running it, and I literally had like the posts, what time of day. I had the posts all pre-written, where all you would have to do is fill in the names of the teams, post it here at this time, post it on Instagram at this time,
Mm-hmm.
post like, this to blah blah blah. The live stream goes here at this time, and you say this, and use this graphic to announce the winner, use this graphic for predictions, use this graphic to engage people on this and that. And like, I was running a tight ship, so to speak. I had all custom graphic templates where all you would have to do is just edit the name and edit the photo so that you could
Yep.
generate like, trophies and victory graphics, live streams. Like I had it down to a science for a minute. I really did. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. I remember when I seen how you were doing stuff because you owned just those four, right? The three leagues and then
I
Rogue.
also Cod Clan Battles.
Oh yeah.
So Cod Clan Battles. So like I said, every time I want something, I created it, right? So Cod Clan Battles was originally a place for like people to recruit,
Mm-hmm.
and to sort of just it was like a just like get to know each other place,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would have players or teams hit me up, and they'd say that they were recruiting, I would send them to this server, and they could share information and connect, and
Mhm.
whatever, what have you. That was sort of like my free agency server that I used.
Yeah, I remember when you were doing that. I was like, this guy's kind of doing what I was doing because I had Frosted Vipers and then I had a couple bad experiences with League, so I opened Lunar
Yep.
and I I liked what you were doing. I could even see I'm like ABC's a small league for like amateur teams, and then Alpha's like mid tier, and then ALG's that's like the top dogs. And I
Right.
was like, this guy knows what he's doing. I said he has the same like idea of what I am, but I can really relate to you with like the staff. I had a I never had staff for my leagues. I could never find good staff. Nobody wanted to help with leagues. Nobody wanted to like get into it. No orgs, nobody. I had one guy once, but he didn't do squat. He didn't do squat, so I don't even remember his name. Like
Right.
I think his name was maybe Spider, but I don't remember that. But
Right.
I had mostly for my org, I had myself, and like I said, I started it with Lego. He was a co-owner, and then once he dropped, that was me for the longest time. And then I started incorporating in GMs. I had Killswitch Gunner. He didn't do much. He was in there for the longest time. He wanted to move up to staff. I'm like, well, I can move you to GM, but you're going to have to do stuff. You're not just going to have a role and then not do anything, you know? He
Right.
sat there and he didn't do nothing. Like, I love the guy. I love all my GMs that I've had, and I don't have any like harsh feelings about him. But like, I set him up there. And I told him what he needed to do. Nothing would get done. I had Scrappy. If you know the U18 Cod League, he's a co-owner of the U18 Cod League right now. He was a GM. He was the captain of my rebirth team. I would tell him you need to recruit more, or you need to play tournaments more because they had the longest team and they had the same team for the longest time, and they were not producing jack diddly squat for
Right.
any tournaments. I'm like, you need to recruit more, or you need to do something else, you know. And
Yeah.
then uh, so I told him. Then he wanted to move up to GM. So then I was like, okay, well, you got to do something. So I tell him what to do. He doesn't get anything done. And I didn't have any graphic designer. So he brought in his own graphic designer for the team. And he wanted to redo all of our graphics. He wanted to completely change our logo, change the color. I'm like, dude, I'm not like trying to fully rebrand who we are. I'm like, I had like mountains in the background, then I just moved to just the snake. And it was the same color, and he wanted to make the snake darker. He wanted to change the snake what it looked like, and he made it too realistic. And he was a good graphic designer. I just didn't want him to change everything about it, you know.
People
And
don't realize how attached you get to stuff when
oh
you
yeah,
when you own it, you know?
yeah. And I'm like, the snake that we have, that is the symbol of the org. I said people see that snake and they think of Frosted. I said if we change the snake, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this off-brand Frosted Vipers?" You know.
Yeah,
And
it changes everything.
I said it's gonna be a different color. It's not gonna be the same color. I said I just want the snake because we rebranded to the snake instead of with the mountain, so it looked a little bit more professional and it looked better. And like same with Lunar, I actually made that logo off like a cheap website. I think it was like Place It Logos, and
Yeah.
I used that's how I did Lunar. I just removed the background for the watermark, and if you look really closely, you can almost see the watermark through the logo. Which, if you like zoom in like the original picture and you actually zoom in, you can probably see the Place It watermark in there. But
That's
I ended up
same with
having
ABC. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of something. I just got that. I Googled, like, random logos, and I just the first one that I found, random free logos, and I was like, yeah, that one looks good. I'll take it.
yeah, that's I did that off of Playset, and then we were going to rebrand Lunar because we went through a bunch of hard times. I think it was after you guys quit with Rogue. We had a couple bad experiences, and people were saying like I was fixing the leagues for Frosted to win or whatever. So I was going to rebrand it to I think it was going to be like Blitzkrieg Cod League, and that never happened. I just kept it with Lunar. Um, but
People are haters, man.
they really are. They
They're
hated Frosted.
haters.
They hated Lunar. I knew they hated Rogue too. I could see it. I
Everybody does. Well, I get real personal, dude.
oh
Like I
yeah.
mean, I get mad. I may not be as skilled as like some of the players per se, but
Mhm.
I am just as deeply emotionally invested in
Oh yeah.
winning and getting the backs of the team and stuff. Like there's no like, you know what I mean? I gave a lot to it. So I gave a lot in its defense as well.
Oh yeah.
People have offered me money to buy things. I mean, I have a dude that messaged me like 3 days ago to try to buy one of the servers, but I'm just like, I can't give it up, man.
Yeah.
I'm always ready. I mean, I'm even bringing people back into rogue gaming right now.
Oh
I
really?
um I really, yeah, we don't have like a ton of people. I've been actually utilizing Facebook a little bit more
Mhm.
than I have in the past. I joined a bunch of groups, and I'm just like, I'm really vocal with there's a lot of people out there, and I want to go back to like the roots of what how I started, because I think something that was to our benefit but also not like was a flaw was like, I always said to everybody, I got a place for you here. You
Mhm.
may not be on the best team, you may not, but like, I liked the family vibe. I liked, if you want to be a part of the group, I will find a place for you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You may not, you may be a million letters down the alphabet on a team that's never going to get funded into a tourney, and you're never gonna, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
like, I like the idea of having people that wanted to be a part of this group. It was important for me to give them a spot. And I felt like, even if they weren't the best players in the world, that the loyalty that they would bring from being willing to bring them in to me was more valuable than having oh yeah, my org has 11 people in it and they're all super nasty and that's it.
Oh
But
yeah.
I don't know. It's just me. I like to have a big group, a lot of people.
Yeah,
And
with
so I'm starting small again. I got about 10 people active day to day, and we're rocking some ranked play, and having fun and trying to get people involved again. So we'll
yeah.
see. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe the
with
next Call of Duty will make a comeback.
that'd be nice, Rogue with a comeback. You guys were gonna have a comeback at one point. I remember seeing that, and then like it disappeared for a while. I think it was
Dude,
like
I
Vanguard maybe. Cause when did
yeah.
you guys quit
Yep.
Cold War? No, you guys were playing in Vanguard. It was the
We were
game
in
after
Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Yeah, we were in Vanguard, and what was after that? Vanguard was just MW2, I think.
Yeah,
That one I really didn't play anything at all. At
MW.
MW2 we were MIA for the most part. I might have had a couple of people. I'll tell you what happened, dude, is we went through, so I used to recruit individually, and then I would try to build around like a team captain, and like try to develop players, bringing people together,
Mm,
right? And that I had struggled with that, because it's like, oh, I'm really into it. All right, now he's gone, he disappears, right? So that wasn't working, so we tried a new angle, which was, we won't accept anything except full teams.
mm-hmm,
I was like, well, we offer funding, we offer promotion. If you're good enough, we could offer you, more, but you gotta prove yourself first. And so I started only bringing in teams of four. Now
mm-hmm,
I was, I was vetting them, and watching them scrim, maybe put them through a couple free leagues just to like check them out, and they were good teams for the most part. But once we turned the stakes up and we started buying into, dude, I went on like a series where I paid money for multiple teams of four to play, and they just dropped. Either they
hmm.
quit, or one of them left and there was a fight and the team broke up, or they just ghosted. Like, just, I don't know, I maybe just went through a series of picking unreliable guys. Either that, or as soon as they joined the cash league, they just got smoked.
Oh
Like, it
yeah.
was like not even funny. So like, I got to the point where I was sort of like, all right, what am I doing here? I need to reevaluate, like, because I can't just piss money down the river, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like, I gotta have a little bit of results. And I just went on like just a streak of losses
Hmm.
and wasted money. And I said, you know what? fuck this for at least for now, dude. I gotta regroup and I gotta get a new angle. And then I got a different job. I was working a lot more. Put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off, and then here we are.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember the last time I remember seeing you guys, it was I had Cold War, I had a free league and I had a paid league. And it was a championship of the free league and the championship of the paid league. And it was a Saturday night and a Sunday night. And it was two different teams. It was Rogue Gaming Pink and it was Rogue Gaming something else. And
mhm.
we had the same team, but you guys had two different teams. And we smoked you guys on the first night. And then the second night, it was a battle, but we still won. And I remember all of our players was shooting bodies, and that was the last time I seen you guys. And all our players loved it, and we were posting on Twitter back to back champions against the same team, and
Yeah.
they're like, and then
I
they,
remember. I remember the post that dude smoking the cigar.
oh yeah,
Kid from college. I forget who it was.
Joe Burrow,
Joe Burrow. Yeah, Burrow.
yeah,
Yep. I
and
was like, oh, great. I hate to lose, dude. I don't like it.
oh, I remember making that post. I still remember the exact post you're talking about. Smoking that Rogue Gaming pack is. I remember making that post, and
Yeah, I remember reading it for sure.
I remember our iconic. He was our team captain at the time, and he was one of the most chillest guys. I just remember he was shooting bodies, and even on if you go watch Graph the Giraffe, he used to do the free streams, and he was the
Yeah.
guy that casted the paid league. He's one of his top popular clips is iconic getting the win and shooting your guys' body for Rogue Pink, and I couldn't believe it that we beat you guys on that paid league. But
Dude, yeah, tell me about it. It was tough. It was tough, and people don't like take L's very well. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Like that's the kind of thing that could literally end friendships. You know what I mean?
oh
And
yeah.
after that, it's like three of those guys probably weren't in the org anymore. After that, just people just get upset, man. They really do.
Yeah, we had Helloface in Cold War, and he introduced us to Iconic, and then Helloface got like a new job, and he was kind of like a manager in game. He didn't really like he wasn't like an outstanding player like Iconic was. So
Right.
Iconic, he was one of the outstanding players. So I was like, hey man, Hello's gone, and I said you're one of the top players, and I said I kind of need you to step up to bat. Now he's gone, so he stepped up to bat, and he brought us several good teams, and he was the one that brought us a good team against you guys, and eventually we started playing Adopt. I don't know if you ever knew
Yep.
Adopt.
I do not like that team.
I
I
don't
don't
like
like
him
the owner.
either.
I don't like that kid one bit. I think he's a prick, and I hope he watches this and hears it.
I actually prime time like the team manager. Well, not the team manager. He was like the in-game captain. I just prime time. He's going to be
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
podcast at some point.
Oh,
Uh,
that's cool. The kid I'm talking about is the kid Warmer, the
yeah,
Canadian.
I know Warmer.
That kid.
I don't like
Prick.
Warmer either.
Yeah.
I never
I
cared
beat
for
that
him.
team, dude. I beat that team so many times, dude.
We never beat him.
Uh, I beat them several times. Look, they beat us too, but I don't care what that kid says. He's took numerous L's to our team.
I don't
Numerous.
I don't think we ever beat them. They were the
I,
team that they were our rival after you guys, because I remember we were always saying Rogue was our rival, and then it was Adopt, and then we just every championship we'd go good, and then championship it'd be Frosted versus Adopt, get our ass whooped every year, every
they were a good
season.
team. They were a good team. I remember the primetime kid, cool dude. I never
Dior
really spoke to him, but he was always respectful in the chats and stuff. He was a cool dude.
Dior was a good player too.
Who?
Dior, it was
Oh yeah, I remember that
He
name.
was
Yeah.
their good player, and we even PC checked him because we thought that he was cheating, and he's actually a really good college player, to be honest with you. But me and Primetime ended up being friends, and I think Adopt's like gone now.
Yo, that kid messaged in one of my, I think in the Alpha League chat the other day.
Oh, really?
I'm warm. He just said, "Yo."
um,
But
yeah, I never cared for Adopt, and then after Iconic, he ended up like we were taking numerous L's, and I was like, "Hey man, we might need to get new players, or we need to like kind of do a wraparound here." I mean, we're not producing against Adopt, and I said we're not producing in other leagues. I was putting them in other popular leagues because we were winning in my league and other leagues, so I started putting them in bigger leagues. Uh, we had Crusadian. I ended up taking over ownership and merging it with Lunar. We went to like a Chicago Esports League. The winner would be flown out for a LAN. We got our
Oh shit.
ass whooped, and I was like, "Hey man, we're producing in other leagues. We might need to recruit more." So we got new players, and we were better. But then he still wasn't producing, so he came to me one day. He's like, "Hey man, we're not producing like I was. I got this offer from this other league. I'm gonna take this offer." And I said, he said, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to leave you with the players." And I said, "But I'm going to be here." And then we had another guy. His name was Ephraim. He took over, and that team was just, it was mid. And then it was like you getting team of fours, trying to get team of fours in. And I think it was Modern Warfare 2 into Vanguard. I was trying to get in teams, and I had a really good coach, but I couldn't get a team together. I had Truman Benz, if you ever, or T Benz, if you know who he is. He's a kind of a popular coach in the Esports League. But
Hmm.
I brought him in, and then I was just trying to get team of fours, and I had a team of four, and they're like, "We guarantee you, we will be your next challengers team, and you don't have to pay for our land, but we will be a challengers team." And I'm like, "Okay, let's see." I'm like, "I'll put you in a pay league. Let's see what they do." 0-3. They lost
Damn,
like 250 to 30 on hard point. I was like,
that's wild.
I said, "Dude, you guys are not even close." I said, the coach even came to me. He said, "Dude, there's no coaching these guys. There's no
Right.
way."
Some people just don't have it.
And 0-6 on search, and you never see an 0-6. Like even when I was casting, I never seen an 0-6 team. Well, I've
Even
seen
250 to 30, it's like,
that's pretty
you know,
bad.
when you're losing that bad, and you would think that that means that you're probably rotating early. You know, you imagine you try to break the hill
Hmm.
two, maybe three times, you give up, you have to rotate early, and then like, you
Like
know, you think they just immediately break you.
they knew their rotations. Like they at first they didn't, and then we got them to rotate early. I'm like, "Hey, you need to rotate early," and they got a little bit better, but they would lose their gunfights. That's what killed them. It was losing their
Right.
gunfights, and they were good players against like other amateur teams. But if we go up against a good team like Adopt or any like firm team that you would know, Seventh Legion, they were almost a rival of us. We were getting our ass whipped by them. Uh,
Seventh Legion. That sounds really familiar. I can't.
I forget the owner.
Oh, Seventh Legion. I don't remember.
I forget the owner. I was kind of like close with the owner, but they uh they were whipping us for a little while. But still, I the
Do
team of
you
fours
remember
killed
this
me.
team? Remember this team, High Risk?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was a huge rival of ours for a while. I absolutely they were so cocky. And I remember I used to commentate some of the games in the leagues, like particularly Alpha League. I always tried to live stream the games. And if I could get, you know, a streamer, I would do it myself.
Hmm.
And I distinctly remember like I was in, and like this is what I was saying, like it's hard for me to like, because I don't think they knew that I was the owner, and I was in the lobby, and you know there was nothing wrong with the game was going fine, and like I just these kids just start, yeah, well, this bum ass shit league, and this guy has no idea what he's doing, and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, I'm in the, and they don't know, and I'm, you know, I'm streaming, and I'm in the lobby as the streamer, and I'm like,
Hmm.
yo, like, fuck you. You don't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know shit. You
Yeah.
guys are gonna about to lose this game. Like, you better fucking clean it. You didn't worry about us running the league. Why don't you worry about you getting run through this game?
Hmm.
And then we started having, it was funny, dude. Like, this was way back, and like I remember all my buddies were watching, and everyone was dying because it was being live streamed. There's like 25 people watching
Oh
the
yeah,
stream, and we just to hear the caster, like, starting to argue with the team in the pre lobby. It was a funny memory
that's
for sure.
hilarious. But
But that's how it was for me, dude. I was ride or die with the group, man. I
I
love that shit.
I remember whenever you guys beat us on Twitter, I'm just sitting there waiting for Twitter. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see it, dude. And
I love celebrating the dubs, man. I really do.
oh, I loved when we beat you guys back to back championships, and our Discord was going crazy. I'm like, oh man,
We
we're
had a ton of haters. A lot of people didn't like me, man. Like anytime we would lose stuff, there'd be a lot of messages I would get. A lot
yeah.
of haters, a lot of shit talking.
I actually liked you. I liked what you did. I liked what you stood for. The people that I didn't like was the girls. I didn't like them a bit. I don't
Yeah,
remember their name, but I didn't like them.
it was love to kill and or
Yep.
bitch to kill and love wins or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it was always really on off. That was like they were original, so like 2019
Mhm.
members. They were like the sisters of some kid that was on one of the teams, and they were there. And then I forget, there was like these like random things that would happen. Like there's stuff that happened years ago, like other orgs stealing teams or
Mhm.
like people abandoning ship overnight. There was one time when I came in, and like basically everybody who was on the team. This is probably before you even had your org yet,
Mhm.
and like everybody just conspired because so there was Shotzi,
Yep.
his little brother, apparently. I don't know. I guess so. I see him on Twitter talking. His name is Exhaust. And he joined with a bunch of his buddies, and they were nasty. They were really good. I'll give them that. They were really
Mhm.
good. They were playing for us for a little bit. And like for some reason, I don't remember why, I had a disagreement with about something. And all him and his buddies just took it super personally. And oh, he was scrimming. He was on one of our comp teams, and he was scrimming our other teams, but he was like trolling the teammates in the
Mhm.
chat. And I was like, yo, like you gotta chill with that, because like
Yeah.
we're all here together. Like
Mhm.
even if you whoop on them, they were posting like screenshots of the scores, and like just really trying to make like our guys look bad. And I was like, yo, like, nah, dude,
That's
like you
not what
can't
we're
be doing.
about, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and like people were quitting. Like it was stupid. Everybody was fighting. It got real negative. So I was like, dude, like either you and your boys chill, or I was like, I don't care who you are, whose little brother you're, I'll kick you all out. Like you'll all be gone.
Oh yeah.
And so we had it out, and then whatever. Some time. Oh yeah, we'll chill. And then some time passes, and then apparently they build this org behind my back. And then like I kid you not, like I wake up one morning and I go into the Discord, and like 30 people had left, like all the primary people, and they went and started this new team. And
That's crazy.
I was in the Discord, dude, yeah, with like no one. And I was like, wow, man, like this is crazy. Like this dude just robbed me of everything I've been building and shit. So I've had like these like weird ups and downs over the years, where like we've had 16 teams and friggin' 250 people. At one point we had so many people, we were organizing people into servers. Like we had a server that just was there to organize people and give them tryouts and put them in. We were in like a bunch of different games at one point. We were big in Rainbow Six
Hmm.
years ago. Had a server with like 400 people. Had a Rainbow Six League. Like there, we were going on all cylinders at one point. Um, but staffing always fucked it up. Staffing and mismanagement. I can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
And my bread and butter was always Call of Duty in the comp teams and the league. So a lot of that stuff fell off.
Yeah.
Um,
One
but
thing.
anyway, yeah. And then those girls came back at some
Mhm.
point, and they were like kind of like co-owners at one point
Yeah.
of the, and they were helping me run stuff. And I will say, like they were very efficient. Like
Mhm.
they would get stuff done, and they would do it the way I asked. So they were definitely good to have around. But you get after a lot of time goes by and you start to have those weird interactions or weird this and that, and then all of a sudden, and then they were doing the same thing. I
Mhm.
ended up having to with them because they were just trying to pull people, and then they started their own team.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, I've created like probably three organizations worth of teams that
Yeah.
because that their team was what the hell is it called? Not Passion Gaming. I don't know. It's the purple and something. I forget what it
Hmm.
was called. But they took a shitload of people. This other team took a shitload, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't meet him, but I seen them. I was just casually playing ranked on a COD game. I think it was the end of Vanguard, and I was just playing a casual game, and I seen them. It made me play a little bit harder because they still had Rogue in their clan tag. I'm like, I think this is who I think they are. And then after the game, I said, "Aren't you guys the Rogue?" And they just started cussing me out. And I said, "Hey, look at the scoreboard. I whooped your ass." And I said, "It's 250 to 70. This game was the fastest game of my life. I don't want to hear it." Well, Rogue's going to make a comeback and whoop your org. And I said, "I'd love to see it." And I said, "How about those back-to-back championships?" And they didn't say a thing.
Yeah, well, that's not how you make friends. That's for sure.
I was like,
I'm not surprised.
I was just trying to ask a question. They started cussing me out. I'm like, "Hey, look at the scoreboard, 250 to 70. I thought I was hot ass." And I said, "Who are you guys?"
Well, I mean, hey, you're not wrong, dude. I've actually bumped into them online a couple times as well. I think maybe the last Call of Duty.
Yeah, I only ran into him that once, but back to the like stealing teams. I didn't have like somebody steal my team, but like towards the end of Frosted, I was struggling like trying to keep a main team for my COD to compete. But I had that happening. I was flipping through Warzone captains at the time because Caldera was killing all the leagues and stuff for competitiveness, and I had multiple captains come and leave. I had a couple good ones. I had Soup. He was a good captain. I actually did a podcast with him last week. He's now the GM of Chaos Esports, and he was one of my GMs. Uh, but he was the Warzone captain for a while. Then he went to Apex. Then we had Venom, and he was one of my best Warzone captains, and we still are on best terms. But I still give it to him. He was one of my best Warzone captains I had put out over like he would win probably 5 tournaments a day, and he had like 10 to 20 teams of like squads working together. I'm like, dude, you are producing like no tomorrow. And then after they went, I was just flipping through captains. And I said, I need somebody. And I said, you guys, I pick somebody that I've known for a while. I'm like, you need to step up, man. I need somebody. And then they can't produce and they step down. And so that killed my Warzone team. And then I tried a Halo team. That didn't work. I was about to start a Rocket League team. That didn't work. My Apex team, they were iffy. But then I had a Rebirth team. The captain, Scrappy, he had his kid join. His kids started getting in the esports, so they went and started their own esports team, which is Chaos. And then I didn't have a Rebirth team, so I had to shut down the Rebirth team. And then I was like, shit, I'm kind of falling into a hole here that I've never really had. And uh, then my GM he came to me, Soup. He said, "Hey, man, I'm going to be leaving." I was like, "Well, I'm done." I just like put it up and I was like, "I'm done." And I just
You
got
burn
out
out sometimes,
and I'm
you
like,
know.
"Oh, yeah." I'm like, I have no Apex team. I have basically no I had a Warzone team, but they were mid. But I didn't have a captain, no COD multiplayer team, no Rebirth team. I said, I got nobody. I said, I'm starting over from square one. I have the brand and that's it. And my branding at that point wasn't very good because of Lunar. Lunar wasn't doing so good. So I just deleted my Discord. I deleted everything for 6 months. And then I came back and it kind of cleared my name a little bit. Now I'm getting back in the esports. I'm getting back in the content creation. But my content creation's going pretty good. But other than that, uh, they started Chaos and they've gone to some lands. I heard they were doing pretty good, but then I've heard other things that they're going to be shutting down soon. They aren't doing so well. Uh, One thing I always said to Scrappy was that like he would never succeed because he never could produce on my team, but he's actually surprised me. He's produced a lot more. I think he's just more invested because it's his team, not my team, and
Right. It does
which
make a difference.
it can make a difference. And I give it to him. He did exceed my expectations. I even told Soup. I said he's not going to produce. And I said I might have some bad things to say about him, and that he's not going to produce, but he produced a better team than I thought he would. But he's invested a lot of money into it, I know. And then being co-owner of the U18 Cod League, um, that helps substantially. And I just look at their team, and then I don't see him competing in any like the leagues that I do. But um I was just like, I'm never going to own another like org again or another league. I'll be like a GM or a content creator, but I don't think I'll ever own something again unless I'm taking it over and it's already a paid position, you know. But
Right. You burn out of the and that's another big part of where I stop too is like you burn out of starting over.
oh
Because
yeah,
it's like, you put so much effort. And again, it's the multiplication effect. It's like nobody really can understand until they do it. But like, you know, making recruitment posts, getting people that contact you, asking them questions, learning about them, playing with them for a little bit, feeling out their strengths. What position do they play? What role do they play? What's their skill level? What
yep,
team can I fit them with? Now I need to find somebody, but I need to specifically find somebody that can meet a role that's like complementary to this guy so that we could build a team, right? And then when that's done, and then they play for a month, and then one guy quits, and then another guy quits because he quit, and then the two other guys, you got to find two new guys.
yeah,
Okay, so now repeat the process. Okay, that team, they don't want to play anymore. Okay, repeat the process. All right, you find another couple teams. All right, well, they're not performing. You got to let them go. All right, repeat the process. And it's
yep.
just like eventually you're just like, like,
You
I
get
just
burnt
want,
out,
yeah, it's like,
and I didn't want
unless
to.
unless you're paying people with contracts, it's
Yeah,
like you got to build a new team every month or two, and
uh,
and sometimes more frequently.
yeah, and
You know.
I was going to be starting from the bottom and what we were known as and what we were doing. I'm like, and I just got out of like a big relationship in real life. I was dating somebody all high school, and that just hit me too along with it. I was just like, yep, I'm done. So that just pushed me over the edge with the org, and the league wasn't producing, so I said the hell with this league too. I was having trouble with that. The one thing I didn't know how to do was graphic design, so I didn't have a lot of good graphics, and I didn't pay for them to get done. And then I sucked at marketing.
Right.
I was young, I didn't know how to market, and marketing comes with experience. And because you can go to school to learn marketing, but it's a lot of hands-on experience. You got to know how to market yourself, and you got to know the ins and outs of it. And when I've gotten into content creation, uh, I had to learn how to market myself, and it's starting to get up and going again. Like my marketing now, I for my TikTok, I had 20 followers one day, and then someone made me a deal, and like as a joke that she was going to move in with me if I got 1,000 followers by the end of September. In a week and a half, I got 1,000 followers. I was getting 100 followers a day on TikTok. I got up to 1,100, and I said, "When are you moving it?" As a joke, but uh, I learned how to market, and like all my socials combined, I had like a total of 800 in 1 month, and then after it's moved up to like 2,500, and that I was with Galaxy. I'm still with Galaxy, but um, when they were going to bring me on as GM, everybody was telling like what I was good at. But then they would be like, but he's not very good at this, this, and this. And if you listen to the podcast with him, he tells that I really exceed his expectations, and I was dedicated. And it's just a lot of people focus on the bad, and you really got to look towards the future too. Of like, I'm trying to change my reputation. I try to stay away from the old people that I used to know from like the leagues and stuff. But um,
I feel
because
that.
with Lunar, I got a reputation, and a lot of people wouldn't believe me. So I don't know.
How are you fixing the games?
Um,
Especially
so
if they're getting live streamed, like everybody can watch them.
people wouldn't read the rules, and they would say that I was fixing the games because they would break a rule and they say I would favorite my team. And I even announced at the beginning of every season, it is your team's responsibility, whether it's the owner, the team captain, or the players, to read and know the rules. It is your responsibility. From here on out, I will not read them to you and hand them to you like a baby, and there will be no, like, I'm not just gonna not like give you a freebie or whatever, you know. I said there's going to
Yeah.
be a no toleration rule. So then I go into a league and I would have like these are the consequences. Well, they would get forfeited a map and it would cost them the game, and they're like, "Oh, you're just favoriting your team." Well, I'm the owner. I do kind of have a one up on you because I read the rules and I wrote the rules, so I know the ins and outs of them. But I go and tell
Right.
my captain, I'm like, "Hey, they broke this rule. All you have to do is say that in the chat and make him acknowledge it, and you're going to get a map." And that's what we would do. And if you broke the rules, I would be like, "Hey, they broke the rules, whether they knew it or not." I would tell them. And then they're like,
Right.
"Well, he fixes the games and he favorites his own team." I'm just
That's
telling
stupid.
I'm telling my team what rules they broke cuz I know the ins and outs of them. And yes, I kind of do have an uphand on it, but still, you know, you should know the
Yeah, that's
rules. You shouldn't
stupid.
break the rules.
I agree. 100%. People will come up with any excuse if they lose, like, to rationalize it. It's been going on for years, and I'm sure it will continue to go on for many, many years. They're just as soon as people are losing, their minds begin to race to come up with some, justification or rationalization for why things are going wrong. Somebody to blame, even if it's blaming a teammate. Oh, I would have done so much better if blah 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 had rotated early. I was slayed this and that, and it's like it's just our nature. We want to shift responsibility and blame. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But
So what better not person to do it than you?
oh yeah, that's so true, and I couldn't stand it. But hey,
It's
we've been here on here for an hour, so I'm gonna start to wrap this up. And one thing
all right, man.
I always like to ask everybody, and you're esports owner, what would your advice be to anybody as like a from an esports owner perspective, like towards a player or towards other owners? What would your advice be to them?
Like in terms of what, like topic, just generally speaking.
Yeah, generally speaking, it could be whatever. Like if you have something to say towards a player or a future owner, or to help out other owners, you know.
I would say in terms of a player, try to really try to help out any future owner by be realistic about what your skill set and your capabilities are. A lot of people, are so. I guess it kind of goes with the game that you have to be kind of cocky and whatever, but try to save. Try to get an idea of what you're capable of, and then sort of match those skills to what teams are looking for. I think that helps a lot, as a player because you won't be disappointed as much,
Yep.
and as teams, helps you kind of sort people out, and then I would say, because that's something that I myself went through as a player, trying to do different things, and I had to come to the realization that my skill level wasn't there. However, what I will say is having that realization opened up other opportunities for me, such as being able to create and manage and market and do these other things. So there's a lot of different opportunities. There's a lot of niche little markets in the where you can still be affiliated. So I would give that advice to the players, not to give up per se, but try to get a realistic feel for what you can do and what you're capable of, and then sort of, go throughout your journey, being realistic to yourself. It'll be a lot less disappointing. As far as like being someone starting a new team, I would say, take everything with a grain of salt. There's gonna be, if anything, I just don't give up. Right, just keep pushing, stay positive, and try to find good people. And good people may not always be rock stars. You need to have a foundation before you can have a mansion. And getting those building blocks, those loyal guys who it really mean, they may not be the greatest, most skilled players in the world, but giving people an opportunity to rep the org and be a part of the group are, in my opinion, a foundational bedrock of starting a team. Something you got to have. You got to have a crew of people who care about the group before there is a group. So don't forget about the little guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I appreciate it, and I can definitely back everything you said, and uh, that can some people may need to hear this. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and it's always nice talking to you, man.
Yes,
Even
sir.
though
Thank you
we
for having me.
even though we had our differences back in COD and we had our rivals, but I'm glad we're
Hey,
on good terms now.
well,
But
yeah, no, I never hold on to it. In the
oh
heat of the
yeah,
moment, you get worked up, but I let things go quick.
oh yeah, me too. And but I appreciate having you on. I appreciate everybody being on here, and you can check his socials out. It's Mr. Nice Guy. You could plug some of your socials if you want, so you can get people over the rogue.
Yeah, I would love just for people to check out Rogue Gaming, Instagram, X, Discord. We're on everything. Rogue Gaming is definitely going to be making some sort of comeback. No guarantees what we're going to be able to do, but we will be welcoming people, to the org. We're going to be looking to put some teams together. We would love to grow and start doing some in-house tournaments and having some fun, and then and see what happens. So please, by all means, even if you want to just come and meet people, play some casual ranked play, we would love to have you. So come check us out, Rogue Gaming.
Alrighty, you heard him here. You can check out all my socials. That's Real BlueStar Gaming on almost anything. If you need my link tree, you can find it in the YouTube video. You can find it in almost any description or anything, and that will lead you to all my socials. So I appreciate having you on. I hope to see you
Yes,
all in
sir.
the next episode. See you guys.
Take care, man.